Basically, a Chinese rover was landed on the far side of the moon, the dark side of the moon, and it was doing a routine mission. It had a pathway it was meant to follow. And on one of the live feeds, by the way, except live feeded this, the live stream, the landing, the first look around, in the distance on the horizon, it sees a very irregular looking shape. It was initially called, even in the Chinese press releases, they called it a cube. They called it a hut. They had no idea what the hell it was. So if you can zoom in and stay on that one for a second, Luke, they'll go back. So this is basically the image here. So it's on the horizon. It was a 3-month journey away from where the rover was. They redirected their spacecraft to change course, abandon its previous mission, and just head here. That's how much of a finding this was at the time. Didn't live stream any of the journey on the way there. For some reason, decided not to do that. We hear nothing. It goes cold for about 3 months. Eventually, they come out for a statement saying, oh no, it was just a rock. It was just a rock. So if you go back to the photo to the left, Luke, just stay on this one for a while. This is the one that they released. This was, everyone, you could have seen this live, by the way. You could have watched the stream where it panned across, saw this, feed got cut.
Really?
It was an actual fucking thing. I was following this daily, every hourly. I was waiting for updates on this because it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And there were countless of measurements done in terms of the distance, how high this thing probably was, the shape that it was, everything. Can't find anything now. It's all been scrubbed off the internet. But basically, from what I saw before, it was meant to be about 80 meters high. So 80 meters high, sharp right angles on the horizon of the moon. The place where this was found, I've got that here as well. So there's a certain sort of crater system where they found this on the dark side of the moon. It was called the Von Karman crater. That's where this found, 2021. Out of nowhere, after 50 years of America never going back to the moon, they finally decide to go back. Where do you think they're flying over?
Well, I think we already know.
We already know. They're flying over that exact same bloody spot. They are flying over the Von Karman crater. They're doing a high-resolution flyover now, these astronauts, and that's where they're planning on landing.
Well, it's interesting.
It's interesting, but for me, it's more than that, right? So if you were, hypothetically, let's say you were an alien race who wanted to come observe humanity. You want to observe this ape that looked like it was evolving intelligence. You'd find it very fascinating. We sure as hell would. If we could travel, would find us fascinating. Where would you set your base up?
Yeah, the moon makes the most sense.
But you know why the dark side of the moon makes sense? The moon's tidally locked. You could have an entire base there emitting light, everything, would never see it.
Yeah.
That side of the moon never spins to face us. It's like a perfect hub to set up. You have low gravity, there's water there, like there's everything there. And it's a very stable part of the universe as well. Like, that's where you'd set up.
Wouldn't it be extremely cold there, though?
Yeah, but with the moon, if you were to go into the craters, there's even like thin bits of atmosphere in the base of some of those craters.
Right.
Like if you're on the top surface of the moon, very cold, terrible temperature. But the second you go into one of those craters, because the moon's quite hollow, there's deep craters, you start getting like stabilized temperatures. You start getting atmospheric. Like you could make a base on the bottom of one of those craters and it would be quite habitable. You still have to make everything like, some of the other photos I showed Luke as well, it looks like some of the bases they've been seen or some of the structures, if you go one more to the right, they look like they're inside craters. So there's been countless things seen on the moon in these craters that look like geometric shapes that don't make sense. If you go back left one, like in that top right there's like things that look like something's been made inside a crater. There's countless ones of this.
It does look like that, but it's very hard to say, oh yeah, this is...
Very hard to say. It could just be anything. But what I'm saying is that we are going back to have a look.
Well, that makes sense, though.
Billions of dollars being spent.
Well, I want to know.
I'd want to know too.
But the thing is, here's the thing, right? If you believe that they cover up stuff like that in the past, what makes you think that they would tell people if they found something anyway?
I don't think they would. I don't think they would.
But then why even make people aware that they're doing it? Do you know, it's weird because there's so much information out there these days. It's hard to tell what's true, what isn't.
Yeah.
What's a psyop, what isn't, what's propaganda, what's the truth, whose perspective is correct, are they both correct? Well, maybe who knows?
Maybe you just choose what you want to believe then.
Well,
what's more exciting to you? To me, it's so exciting.
It's exciting to me, but all these things come out and they just never eventuate to anything. Yeah. There's been heaps of stuff that we've seen like flying out of the ocean and there's alleged bases underneath the water and shit. Nothing ever comes of this stuff. There's no way to actually verify it either unless you're involved in it.
But if you had a spacecraft that had some sort of gravity propulsion tech, like what Bob Lazar talked about, so intense pressures don't affect you, vacuum in space doesn't affect you. The two best places to set a base and monitor the human race, bottom of our ocean, and the dark side of the moon. Those are the two places where it would make sense to set up. If we had the tech to do it, and we found a planet that had a life form that was evolving on it, looked like it had intelligence life, we were curious as all hell. We're like, oh, look at these, look what they're doing. They're picking up stones and throwing them at each other. You know, well, if you could see that and you want to observe them and not interfere, it's exactly what we'd do.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. It's just, I feel like if Bob Lazar's story is true, they must know a little bit more about where these crafts came from, whatever. It's really hard to tell. I don't know, man. These days, I don't know. I genuinely don't know who to believe and who to trust.
It's so fucking
Which
hard,
is
isn't it?
arguably the most perfect way to have everything. Is just no one knows. So you can get hung up on thinking about stuff all the time. And is this it? Are we going to find this? But then it's like, even if they find it, they probably won't tell us. And it's all just part of this psychological psyop that's just undergoing. Everyone's so focused on fuel and shit. I don't know. It's just things are weird, and I don't know. It's like
it's frustrating, right?
Ever since, yeah, it is frustrating because you feel like you're going to search something and get to the bottom of a question, and it just ends up bringing up more answers and more
questions, less answers, right?
It's like a labyrinth of trying to work your way through what's actually real and what's important to focus your time on.
Yeah. Well, the thing I love about the alien question, I guess in general, is what's impossible to answer, and what you just touched on is what's actually happening. Have they been here? Have they interacted with us? Does the government know about them? Do we have reverse engineered tech? All that sort of shit. Man, I think you could probably go crazy thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get a resolution for it. You can spend your entire life thinking about it, right? But for me, what's like a more interesting question is probably like the more broader, like, what is life? Could life originate somewhere else? What is intelligent life? If you accept that it could evolve elsewhere, and technology could exist that could travel between star systems, then yeah, they're here. 100%. There's no doubt about it. If life is just a abiogenic event that happens in the right circumstances, and those circumstances are everywhere, like we have a planned space flight to one of the moons of Jupiter. So basically, there's one of these moons. I think it's Ganymede. I think there's a few. Basically, it's like an icy moon. And it gets pressured by Jupiter. So because of the pressure getting squeezed, expanded, there's a heat source. So it's an icy crust, has a liquid ocean, and every now and then these geysers spit out water, and the water flies out quite far away from the moon. We have a planned spacecraft to go through and collect the water and see if there's any bacterial life.
Yeah, yeah.
If we find life there, that means life's everywhere. Everywhere. What are the odds it's going to be in the first place that we look? That means it's everywhere. The next question is intelligent life everywhere? Well, why is there intelligent life here? Was it really evolutionarily advantageous to be intelligent? Like, yeah, we've dominated our entire planet, but we might wipe ourselves out any bloody moment. That's what the Fermi paradox and the Great Filter is, that, you know, technological advancements have like a hard cap. That's really, really rare, like 1 in a million chances to get through that without wiping yourself out. It could be the splitting of the atom. Maybe that's what every intelligent life form on every other planet does, and then they fucking nuclear war themselves and wipe each other out. Like, maybe there's something that actually stops it from happening. Like, for us, if you think like the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, like, we were just like the tiniest little scurrying little rats at the time, hiding. We had a fight or flight response in our brains. That was our evolutionary pathway. That's how we came to intelligence. It was fight or flight. If the dinosaurs didn't get wiped out, we never come out. We never make tools. We never exist.